overall athlete, male or female. The way that she can pick things up and put things together, the way that, her body mechanics and everything, is extremely impressive to me. So,
download the AllStar app. Make your picks for UFC fights, challenge your friends, level up and win prizes. Link in description. Get it now.
JHK here on ground zero at Bangtao Muay Thai MMA. I'm getting instructions from the coach. Standing next to me, of course, the head wrestling coach of Bangtao MMA. And we got a few things we want to get into with him. Let's start with, how the last couple of months been at the gym. You got a lot of fighters coming in. Talk about that.
Yeah, things have been good. Obviously with the gym growing and that, it's been nice. It's been nice to be back for a bit, to kind of put my feet down for a little bit and focus on the gym and what we have going on. It's been good, very fortunate. Everybody's happy, got people coming through training, not just fighters, but we got other customers coming through from around the world. So it's great to see our outreach that we have, to be able to see all these people coming through and training, changing their lives, getting healthier, getting more fit, and having a good time with it as well. We were very fortunate last weekend. We had the Gypsy King, Tyson Fury, and his crew came through. A couple of the boys were able to go to the dinner he had the night before, hear the big John Fury speak, hear him speak, Tyson about mental health, the whole process of him, getting off the couch, how he came back, his comeback. And then he came in here and I was blown away with what he did with the customers. He took photos and then he did 15 3-minute rounds with customers, random customers. I'm sure people pay extremely good money to just get photos with him, but he was able to bless the gym and put on a good show for everybody. So everybody got to see an inside of it, and I thought it was awesome. Everybody was buzzing. I was buzzing the whole day. I was, my adrenaline was pumping all weekend from that. So it was a great time, great couple hours around the gym, and again, since then we got some big things coming up in the pipeline. Obviously. Volk fights July 8th, International Fight Week, him and Hooker. We also have, Weili, she has her fight coming up in Boston. And then we got a couple of the boys from the PFL, a couple of the One Championship. And we got some amateur fights this weekend down at Southside, some of the Iranian boys. So, again, it's just back to normal of what we're doing, and that's just trying to get everybody on the same page, help them reach their goal.
Yeah, the big discussion, during Tyson Fury's visit was, him going back and forth with John Jones. Did he talk about any of that stuff when he was here?
Yeah, they brought it up in one of the questions about the John Jones and stuff like that. And, the Gypsy King made a great point. He's like, I'm a boxer. That's what I do. So, sweet, if you want to do it to where it's boxing rules in a cage, I'm more than happy to do that. But he also said, he's a businessman and he's smart with it. So, a little bit of chat back and forth, but he was respectful about it as well. He gave John Jones compliments, but also he talked about how he is the heavyweight champ of the world, and maybe one day that fight will happen. I guess I know everybody would pay good money to see it. I guess it just comes down to, is it going to be, what rule set would it be? Marcus or Queensberry rules, or would it be more of an MMA-based glove size, round time? There's a lot of variables that play into that.
For sure, man. And you touched on it earlier. Volk, he's going to be fighting soon in Vegas International Fight Week. He's taking on Yair Rodriguez, the interim champ. What do you think of this matchup, man? It's something new, because Yair brings something different to the table. He's not really too similar to somebody in the past. Very dynamic. What is your breakdown of him?
I think Yair is an incredible fighter. He's a dangerous fighter. He's fast. He throws unorthodox stuff. So when you kind of put that together, he makes to be a dangerous fighter. He's put himself in a position. He's got the interim belt. Now he's fighting Volk for the undisputed. So, but I also do think this is something that Volk maybe has never seen, but also he has seen. Volk is somebody who's sparred with the best guys in the world for years now. Whether it be great kickboxers, great Muay Thai, great MMA, wrestled some of the best guys in the world. So he's seen, grappled with some of the best. So he's seen a lot of different looks, a lot of different fight styles and what people bring to the table. You know, obviously he's bringing in the right looks. You know, whenever you fight guys like this who are unorthodox and have that certain style, you got to bring in guys to mimic it. He's done a good job with it. You know, he's brought in a couple of the boys, Blood Diamond, Corvée and Rune, etc. I know some of the boys are out there, Britton and Joshy, so good on them. And yeah, he's getting the looks that he needs. And again, with Volk and his IQ, he does his homework. Joe does his homework. Hughes does his homework. Everyone does their homework on this. So the positions and what they need to be aware of and look for and stuff like that, he's probably seen this several times. So it's not like he's going to go in there and not be used to it. But again, high stake fight, you know what I'm saying? There's a lot on the line. Vegas main event, International Fight Week, doesn't get much bigger than this. So it's going to be an exciting time once again.
Yair, he's not really a takedown guy. Like, you don't really see him like shooting for takedowns. He's usually, you know, defending takedowns, and he gets put on his back from time to time. We've seen it, you know, in previous fights. And what do you think of his ground game and his defense? I believe he works with Izzy Wrestling in Chicago, right?
Yeah, he works with Izzy Martinez, another very good, knowledgeable wrestling coach. He's been in the game a long time. So again, with a coach like that, he does his homework as well. So he may not have the best offensive stuff when it comes to wrestling, but he's got good defensive wrestling, and he is dangerous from his back. Obviously, he submitted Josh Emmett with a triangle from bottom, so you can't take this lightly. Obviously, if you get into his guard or if you're in this position on top, you have to really make sure that you're sharp in all these positions. So something, again, that we've been harping on, that we'll work on, clean up, everything like that. But, you know, this is a fight where we've always been training for something like this. You know, each fight you go into, you have a new opponent with a new set of skill set, right? But you've also have been preparing for something like this, you know. So just, again, excited for it, you know, especially with a guy like Yair, who's exciting and brings something different to the table.
Yeah, it's an extremely exciting fight. I feel like this is, you know, he brings a little more danger factor compared to a couple previous opponents, and that's what makes it exciting. You know what I mean? Where can we see Volk, you know, transform? You know what I mean? Because we've seen him dominate in every type of position, right? Standing, on the ground, ground and pound, submission defense, you know, like we've seen everything from him. So, yeah, man, I'm excited for this fight. Do you feel like the wrestling is going to be a key factor in this fight coming up?
Yeah, I do feel like the wrestling will present itself, the grappling. You know, obviously, myself, he's been training a lot with Craig Jones as well. Craig's another unbelievable mind in the sport. So, yeah, we're going to be ready for the positions that we get into, that if we can take advantage and exploit it, absolutely. If it's something to where we stay on the feet, again, you know, Volk's IQ and understanding of the game and distance will become a key factor in this as well. You know, that's what the beautiful thing of MMA. It's not just stand up. It's stand up, it's clinch, it's grappling, it's wrestling, it's everything mixed into one. So when you put all that in there, whoever can mix it up the best usually comes out on top. And that's what we plan to do.
You'll be joining the team soon. How many weeks out is that?
So I'll get out there next week. So I'll be with him about 9-10 days, and then fight week. So yeah, it's short trip to Wollongong. I miss the Shell Harbor area. I miss Joe Lopez, if I'm being honest. And then we're back, and then we're off to Vegas. I think Craig competes Saturday night, the week before, on UFC Fight Pass. So that'll be cool. We'll get to see one of the best in the game compete live, which, you know, I'm excited about as well.
Yeah, definitely. You know, shout out to Joe Lopez. You know, I'll see you, Joe, real soon, Joe. I'll see you. Exactly. Then what do you see in this fight? Like, have you envisioned the fight, how you see it playing out?
Again, I see the fight playing where Volk dictates where it goes, you know. And again, it depends on how aggressive Yair is. If he's hesitant, if he's aggressive and he's coming forward. A lot of this stuff, you can kind of replay things in your mind of how you think it's going to shake out. But when you're in there, and they ring that bell, and within the first minute, I think you get a good idea of how it's going to go down. So, again, you prepare for everything. You got to expect the unexpected. And that's exactly what Volk usually does. He tries to prepare himself for all types and different situations.
Weili, Zhang Weili, the strawweight champion of the UFC, she's here training at Bangtao, and this is, I believe, her third camp. Is it her third camp here?
Yes, I believe it's her third camp.
She fought Joanna,
Yep.
and then she fought for the title. She did those camps here, and then, yes, this is her third camp, her first title defense. How is she looking? How much work have you done with her the past few weeks and moving forward?
We do quite a bit of work. She comes to the pro class all the time, so sparring twice a week, wrestling twice a week, technique in that. And then she does, we usually do a Wednesday morning and a Saturday morning, like one-on-one wrestling. And we go over the positions. And yeah, again, Weili's an incredible athlete, not just because she's a female, but overall athlete, male or female. The way that she can pick things up and put things together, the way that, her body mechanics and everything, is extremely impressive to me. So, I find myself wanting to show her a couple of things, and then I realize when I show her the couple of things, she gets them right away, and then there's still, another 45 minutes. So then you're like, fuck, this girl, she really understands the game and what's going on. So, yeah, it's a joy having her here. Her and her coaches, her training partners, they're super nice people, get along with everybody, don't cause any problems. She's always training hard. And I thoroughly believe she enjoys Phuket, not just for the training and that, but just because she can kind of put her feet up a bit, her hair down a little bit, maybe do a bit of surfing, rides around on the scooter, lives around the corner from the gym. She has many Chinese friends out here. So, yeah, like I said, it's been great working with her because she's always going to bring the best Weili when she's coming to train.
Myself observing her throughout those camps and coming back for this one to watch her train, and get ready for this upcoming title fight, she hasn't changed at all, man. Like, she's just the same person, the same attitude. It's a trip, dude. Like, usually champions become different some way, somehow. Nah. Maybe they slack or something, but she's not, right?
Nah, Weili's all business. I've said it many times. She's all business. She likes to have smiles, she'll crack jokes, put on oh yeah, or do something. But when it's business time, like, she gets into it. She makes the most of her time. And like I said, man, she really has a goal to be one of the best female, MMA fighter to come through the UFC. And I think she's well on her way. I think this fight, obviously Lemos is an extremely dangerous opponent. You got to be ready for everything. But I reckon Weili gets through. Weili's at a point now where she can, depending on how it shakes out and the weight above her, she's in a position to maybe move up and challenge for the 125. I think the Grasso versus Valentina rematch would be good. Big fan of both. Obviously, I'd like to see Valentina get her belt back, maybe tee that up down the line. But again, women's MMA right now in the UFC is really, really booming and thriving. And there's just more and more females coming through that are great and exciting to watch.
You've trained and coached many women fighters throughout the years. And when you compare Weili to like all the other women in pure like MMA grappling, is she at the top of the list?
She's definitely up there, if not at the top, when it comes to grappling and stuff like that. But I've trained with several female grapplers who are really good. Loma's a phenomenal grappler. Casey O'Neill's a phenomenal grappler. We got several. Jada's a great grappler. I've seen Jada do a lot of good stuff. But as far as females and that, yeah, there's some good ones, and Weili's well at the top as well, with herself, just based off of her physical attributes and her mindset, you know what I'm saying? She's something to watch.
What do you think of this matchup, the next one coming up? Not as known as her previous opponents.
Listen, Lemos has done some impressive stuff to put herself in the front of the line. She's a dangerous opponent. She submitted the former champ pretty quick, you know. She's knocked some people out. Like, the girl is tough. The girl's coming forward and she gets after it. But again, you know, Weili has been at the top of this division for a while now for a reason. But again, matchups make fights, you know, so somebody like Lemos, who's a bit taller, a bit lankier, versus somebody Weili stature who's a bit shorter, stronger. This is kind of two different, you know, styles going at it. So this is what the people will pay to see in Boston. You know?
Definitely. You plan on going to Boston maybe?
I'm not sure yet. I usually don't travel with her and stuff like that, just kind of do a bit of the training, but whether I'm there or not, I'll definitely be glued to the TV for sure.
Yeah, big support from the gym.
Big support from
you
the
know,
gym.
Weili is part of the family. She's been here since the beginning, right?
Yeah, and then when she's done with her fight, she just comes over and starts training right away. So she doesn't really take a break in between, you know. She's right back into it. She was training she was doing 2-3 a days, 2 months out, 3 months out from starting her initial 8-week camp. So yeah, like I said, man, she's all gas, no brakes. And big support from the gym. Like I said, man, she's a great person to have around, always taking photos with customers and stuff like that, can chat, stuff like that, not arrogant, which is nice, you know.
You got, in the strawweight division, you got 3 female fighters that are probably chasing GOAT status, right? You got Joanna, who Weili has beaten, right, twice. And then you got Rose Namajunas and you got Weili, right? Those are probably the 3. You know, do you feel like she's probably really close to surpassing those other girls, even though she's lost to Rose? I think a 3rd fight is necessary eventually, right?
Of course. I do think a 3rd fight is necessary. I do think a 3rd fight will happen. I think that's something that Weili really wants. But I do think she's well on her way to becoming the best at 115 pounds. I do. You know, Joanne, she's retired. But my hat's off to her, man. She was incredible competitor. You know, that first fight they had was I was fortunate to be in the locker room watching it, you know, and I was blown away by how good of a fight that really was. It was a chess match from both sides. Then they had the rematch. Obviously, Weili got the better of her in that, you know, in the 2nd round. And then from there, she beat a very, very competitive and tough Carlos Barza to get the belt back. Now this is her first title defense, so it's good. But there's a lot of good people coming up through that strawweight division, you know. Like we had mentioned, Loma's obviously somebody who we've spent a lot of time with, who's well on her way to be at the top. She's improved significantly so much, had an amazing performance, got her first finish in the UFC. So, you know, over the moon happy. She's now in UFC, and the PI in Vegas, doing a bit of rehab, stuff like that. So she gets to experience Las Vegas for a couple months. Good on her. I hope she has an unbelievable time, and I'm sure she will. I'm sure she'll really enjoy herself.
Yeah, man, it's busy times at the gym. You know, it's always good catching up with you, man. Thank you so much.
No problem. Thanks, brother. That was it. That was good.
Yeah, that was good.